phase in detail. So at the discover phase, the user's goal is only to learn about your API. So to keep them engaged in this phase, you have to show what your API is about. That is, you have to show your value. So we are going to do an experiment here. We are going to keep this interesting. And in this experiment, I'm going to show you a quick glimpse of an API portal, but keeping in with what we have just talked about in the discover phase, the user will be only present on your API for a few seconds. You have not yet converted them. You intend to convert them. So what can you show them to keep them engaged all the way to the next step? So you're also going to get only 7 seconds to look at this example. And then we're going to talk about this example portal. So here it goes. Ooh, so that was a lot to take in one screen, right? So what did you guys see in this API portal? For me, it's kind of a blur because so many things were going on at in the screen. It was kind of a crowded portal, but I did pick up some things. I saw that it's an API reference documentation. It makes some mention of microservices as building block, but I didn't get to read the whole paragraph. I also picked up some terms because they were emphasized. For example, there's a mention of some logical unit. There's a mention of API programming interface. And then because of the design of the portal, it actually got my attention to the table of contents as well, both on the left and the right. And I saw that they have a couple of important. No, no, it doesn't actually look like an important item. They're talking about contribution and curation, and I'm not sure what that has to do with using the API. So why is this API portal not good? Let's break it down and see what went wrong here. In the discover phase, the user is only going to stick with you for a few seconds, and you have to make the most out of it. And in this particular case, only have their attention for 10 seconds. So 10 seconds is quite less, like you just saw. So when the users are on your page for only this few seconds, they're going to be scanning your page. They're not going to read your page top to down. So if you have a lot of content there, they're going to quickly lose focus in the cluttered page. And if they don't get to see the value in your page, they're going to quickly bounce off to the next link that they had in their email newsletter, or maybe they came from a Google search engine. So they're going to quickly follow through to the next link because they did not see any reason to stick with going through your portal. Another thing that goes wrong here is that this portal is really making me work hard to see what the API is about. I would ideally like to see a very concise description, a very short introduction about this API, and it should be upfront and center. And this API portal does not show what the different parts of the API portal are. I'm not going to stay engaged if I don't know what the value this API portal is going to add to my business use cases. So there's no mention of scenarios anywhere, and there's no example of how this API can be used either. Again, we are going to do another experiment, but this time I'm going to show an API portal that actually will convert user because it is designed well and it has some really good aspects. We're going to break that down, but first let's do this experiment. So you will only have 7 seconds. Here we go. Oof. So this was so much better than the last portal. It seems like a very neatly set up portal. And this is because it has a very simple page structure, and that page structure is optimized for scanning. It really guides the user's eye through the heading and then to the paragraph and then through all the boxes and the neat little table of content that is laid out on the left. So it's really great from the perspective of scanning. And then you have a very short intro paragraph which tells me what this API is about without going into too much detail, which is important at this point because the user is not really ready to go into the depth and maybe read a longer paragraph right now. So they have kept it very concise here. And then you have a very simple value proposition demonstrated through these boxes where they're telling that this API can do databases, it can do auth, it can do file storage, but it's not going into detail, it's just mentioning them. But the design of the portal, the base structure, the simplicity of this design is all contributing towards helping the user grab the value that this API is going to bring to them when they start using it. So let's say that you have managed to keep the user engaged through the discover